We will be doing a lot of editing today. If you don't have your file open up right now, go ahead and do that. Here's how, once Photoshop is open, this is the home screen, and you probably can find it because it's probably the last one here. So right here, you can just double click it, and that'll open it up. You should see your colors from last time, and I just want to double check with everybody right now. Layers should have a folder called text. I've eyeballed it out. Should have a layer named abstract. That's your colors from last time. You should have your original layer. Make sure that eyeball is out. We're not going to be working on that. And the background, which is just a solid black. All right, under abstract, we're going to do a couple things to this guy real quick. We are first going to liquefy this thing. To do that, there's like a cool way to like make a little bit of edit, so it's not exactly like it is in Illustrator, where it's a filter effect. So filter is up here in the very top. You'll see filter right there. And then I want you to look for this option right here called liquefy right there. Liquefy opens up a brand new window with a lot of different editing options. A lot of these stuff is pretty complicated, but I think I can simplify this quite a lot. All right, the good ones. Twirl right here. You'll see this is the one that I have selected off the bat. Pucker tool is pretty cool. Bloat tool is interesting. I don't like push left. So these three I like a lot. Forward warp I haven't used before, but that seems to be the default one. We're going to just try that together right now. That just kind of moves things around, almost like smudges it together, which could be cool as well. What you might notice off the bat is when you start is your circle here that I have is really tiny, right? And it won't really make a whole lot of differences. I recommend that we make this bigger. There are two ways to do that. Over here, brush tool options, size, you could just slide this guy up and then it's huge, right? I don't like doing this slider because I never know how big the brush is until I move it back over. If you look at your keyboard, I want you to find the letter P in the top right of your keyboard. To the right of that, you're going to see two brackets, left and right. If you hit and hold the left bracket, the circle gets really small. If you hit and hold the right bracket, the circle will continue to get bigger. I recommend somewhere around here, so it looks like for me, if I go over to size on the right side, it says 800, so maybe 800 is a pretty good size. If I click and hold down in an area or move my finger around a little bit while I'm holding down, you'll see that it starts to kind of bend these colors a little bit together pretty subtly. This one right here, this is the pinch, I believe. So what that'll do is it should pinch colors together. Not seeing a huge change of effect right now. And then we'll try bloat. Bloat will just kind of do that. We'll go back and we'll try some of these top ones with the forward warp. I was actually getting more out of this guy than I was really anything else. So this, oh yeah, this is great actually. I'll get a pretty different result from last time this way. Once I've just kind of like warped it a little bit between these tools, we're going to hit OK in the bottom right. This could take a while. Wow, that was really fast. It's never that fast. Okay, if yours takes a couple minutes, don't be alarmed. Now that we have this, we are going to do where I think you really get the true effect. I would actually recommend that we duplicate this layer again. So where we have abstract, click and drag that to the new layer icon, let go, and you'll see abstract copy. Double click on abstract copy, and I want you to call this one warp, W-A-R-P. I'm going to go ahead and eyeball out abstract. We don't need that one yet, but we can always revert back to it if this goes a little haywire. All right. The move tool in Photoshop, it's in the top left. That just kind of confirms to us that it's selected. Something with the move tool that I want everybody to double check, maybe it even saved it from last year if you were in class last year, is this auto select and show transform controls. Auto select by default is chosen. In my opinion, unselect that, it's annoying. Show transform controls by default isn't selected, and it's super helpful. So make sure that this little box right here is checked. That gives you the box that allows you to resize and kind of move images around. All right, we're not going to use any of that right now. I just want to make sure that it's selected. So we need to do a huge transform. So if you look up here where edit is, you'll see that you have a lot of options. If you move down, you will see transform right here. And then I think warp is the best one for this project in particular. So again, that would be edit, transform, warp. Doesn't look like much right now, but you can literally pretty much click anywhere that you want and drag, and you'll see that the image starts to kind of, warp. We want this to touch the top and the bottom at some point in time, but where this can get really cool, in my opinion, is you can take certain parts of this and throw them over top of the other parts and kind of blend them around, or warp them or move them around, so you get a much more abstract shape. If you need to, hold Command and tap the minus key. That'll zoom you out. If you hold Command and hit plus, that'll zoom you in. I like being zoomed out for this. That way I get a better look at, what I'm actually doing here. Right there is good. Once you're satisfied with the warp, hit the return key on your keyboard. And if you really don't like your results, good news. You could just delete it by hitting this trash can and do it again with your abstract layer, or duplicate your abstract. You can also move this around. There might have been parts that weren't showing from your original, so feel free to kind of relocate this into position. I'm going to hold Command and hit plus like twice just to zoom this in and get a more full look at what this looks like. All right, guys, we're going to be doing a few more edits to this this shape anyway, before we really go to the final stages of the product in the next video. Good job so far. Let's save. So File, Save. All right, take care.